Well, we've had football for 2 years. The first year there were 2 or 3 games that they played, 7th and 8th grade games, 1 9th grade game, I believe. And then last year we did have a full JV schedule. We had an 8-game schedule in which I think they performed well. The young men performed well. And this year we've been able to fill out a 9-game varsity schedule, and the kids especially are very excited about that. Of course, they don't know how much extra work that's going to be for them, but they'll learn, and I think they'll do very well. Yeah, we played special teams 2 games last year, and it was a fairly abbreviated form of special teams. It is a third of the game, and it's going to add quite a bit of preparation time for the coaching staff and for the kids. The kids are very excited about special teams, and so the big thing with that is just to make them understand this is not an unimportant aspect of the game. It's just as important as offense or defense, and we'll do our best to keep it simple. We're going to have 4 coaches this year, including myself, to do the junior high and the high school, so we've got to keep things very, very simple. We have, as far as I know, now the situation's a little difficult for me to know exactly because I'm at East Union and we've got coaches at other schools, so I'm not sure who's going to be returning from the other schools just yet. We will know more on Monday. But we will have, we'll have Broderick Montgomery and Vidal Rucker, we'll have Graydon Panel, we'll have everybody returning because we didn't have any seniors last year. And those that played very well were the young men that I named. And then we had several others. Stan Gilbert, we look for big things from him this year. He's a player from Myrtle. Chase Bogue from West Union. And it's hard to say who the standouts are going to be because we had a lot of good play last year. I don't want to give away too much, but we're going to try to run a ball control offense. We've got a very young quarterback, and he's a 3-sport athlete, and so he does not have a lot of chance or opportunity to learn a complex offense. He's playing football, then basketball, then baseball, and basketball and baseball all summer long, as well as in the weight room 3 days a week. So it will be hopefully a ball control offense. We're going to depend upon our line play and multiple running backs to to control the possession, to control the clock, to be able to milk it, to be honest with you. We'll see how that works. Hopefully it works well. Defensively, we're looking for good things out of our lineman play and our secondary play. I've met with the coaches from New Albany and learning from them. They had a lot of success with their defensive structure last year. They had some good players, but they also have some very good coaches. And so we're going to try to implement a system similar to theirs in some respects, but not in every. We'll run a 4-down lineman scheme, and we're going to try to be balanced. Defensively, it's very important to be balanced, and our big thing is going to be not give up the big play. That's what we're going to harp on and preach. But again, because most of these young men are going to go both ways, sometimes it can get a little confusing, so we're going to keep it as simple as possible. Well, what can you say about special teams? You run real fast and you hit somebody. Now, the special teams play between your kickoff return, your punt return. The biggest thing there is going to be consistency. Those are opportunities for very big plays to go against you. They're also opportunities for very big plays to go for you. And so we're going to have to be consistent on special teams play. Kickoff, punt, these are two in particular where if you're not in your lanes and not doing what you need to, you can get in trouble pretty quickly. So we're going to do our best to teach these young men how to be consistent in special teams play. And again, as I said before, not to take a play off. We've got a 9-game schedule, and we're going to open up with Hatley on August 19th. Then we'll go Jumpertown and Biggersville and Ripley right in the middle of the schedule there. They're by far our largest opponent. Ripley has got a great program, good coaches. And they called and asked if we wanted to play, and we certainly, not being in a division this year, we needed dates. And so we did agree to play them, and I'm looking forward to it. We played them in junior varsity last year for our first game, and we won that game, and our kids are excited to play them as well. It's much easier to play at home when you have a home field, but for our young men, because they don't have a home field, they don't know what it's like to play at home. They don't know what it's like to play next to where they practice, and so they don't really yet know what they're missing. So I don't think it's as much of an issue for us as it is maybe for other teams. All they've ever known is traveling from place to place, and even their home games have been at not their home field. And so they don't really know what it's like to sit in your locker room from 4 in the afternoon until game time and sit in your own locker and those things. So it's not as big of a problem for us as it would be for other schools. Now I would love to have a home field, and they would too. In years to come, I'm sure that'll happen. Well, the biggest thing we have to do as a staff and as the coaches at different locations is recruit. And I don't mean recruit from other schools or from other communities, but within our schools. If you combine our attendance, we would be right at the smallest 5A school in the state if you look at the numbers. And in order to compete at that level, we obviously have to have a lot of young men coming out to play. We have coaches right now at school except for Ingomar, and it is difficult. It's difficult to recruit these young men because they're young men who want to know who they're playing for. I've been in the schools and tried to make sure they know my face and talk to the ones I'm able to during their PE period and those things. But ultimately, the best recruiting tool that we've got, or the best way to get these young men out to play, are to have football coaches in those schools who are getting to know the young men and talking to them about the benefits of playing football. You've got, especially with basketball players, I would say, and baseball as well, there's an aggression that occurs in the game of football that carries over very well to those other sports.